Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros.
welcome to Book Babble. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Tanya, and we're the Witlet Women, your hosts for today.
and today we have a special guest star. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Mandi Graceson. You probably can tell from my accent. I am from Australia. I have written, paranormal romance is the love of my life in as reader form, and so I have written my own paranormal romance series.
Well, we are so happy to have you on today, Mandy. Thank you for joining us. Are you ready to babble?
Let's go.
All right, I'm putting 5 minutes on the clock.
Couldn't undo it. I'm sorry. Okay, so my first question is, can you give us like an elevator pitch for those of us who haven't read the books or for those of us who have but want a reminder? Can you give us a quick
Yep. So, if you're into paranormal romance that features werewolves and magic, or shifters, we call it, that's pretty much me. I I started writing these books, God, I can't remember, about 4 years ago, and I've always been a lover of Sookie Stackhouse and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all those sort of things. And then so I thought to myself, always been a lover of the reader version of books like this, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to write my own. So it's a bit spicy as well. So if you're into spicy sort of romance sort of novels, it is set in a fictional US town called Woodville Springs. So that's who it's about. It's about the Woodville Springs pack. And it starts off, the first book actually starts off, each of the books are actually a different couple. And then, but the story all intertwines together. So if you want to read them as singles or you can read them as a series, it's totally up to you. But they all sort of have the same baddie, the same sort of storylines of what's actually happening. But it starts off with my first book, which is about Eden. So she actually starts off the series. She's a New York lawyer. Her mum passes away and gives her a letter that says you need to go to Woodville Springs. So then that starts it all off. And then the alpha of the Woodville Springs pack is Ashton, and he's also her mate. And then that's where it starts. And then the second book is about Harper, her friend. And then the third book is about Nora, which is one of the Woodville Springs pack's members, and she goes to London to meet her fated mate. So each of them have like a totally different story, but it's all about the Woodville Springs. So yes, if you're into spicy shifter, this is what this is. Yep.
That sounds phenomenal, especially the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference. So I am a huge fan of that show,
Yeah.
and now I have to know who is your favorite character and what was your favorite episode out of the entire series?
Oh, okay. My favorite, okay, if we're going back, right? So the first, I don't even remember what the episode is, but my favorite of all time episode is where she finds out who Angel actually is.
Yes.
Yeah, I find out Angel actually is, and then obviously he changes, and yeah,
The
that's actually my
birthdays
favorite. And then
episode,
the
that's
the
season
second,
two.
yeah,
I know my Buffy.
I know I can't even remember the season, but that's actually my favorite of all time. I could watch that episode forever and ever. And then my next favorite is I know this is a really bad one, but it's where he then goes evil, and then he goes on a bit of a rampage. And then I always watch them too. They're like my two favorites. Yeah.
Yes, I am a fan of the original Buffy pairing with Angel, but Spike also has a
Oh,
special
I
place
know.
in
I
my
did
heart.
fall in love with Spike too, which, like I know and that's what I love about the baddie. So this like the redemption baddie, that's what I love. So I've
Yes.
actually got a redemption baddie in mind. So this is like the best thing about having you sort of want to create them really evil and then you like want to go down that path. And then especially with Spike, like Spike is a classic, especially when my favorite of Spike is when he gets the chip in his head
Yes.
and Tara's family, or Tara, you say, family all think that she's a monster and everything, and then he just goes up there and punches her in the face and then goes, "See, I told you." Like that's just classic Spike, and that's what I love about it him. So
Yes.
yeah, so I do love a bit of a baddie with the redemption. That's actually my favorite. Yeah.
Yay.
Well, now I'm excited about this redemption arc that you're hinting at. So there's that. So I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but I do wanted to ask, what is your process for writing? Because you have such like a really cool, intricate details going on. Like what how do you get from what's in your head to what's on the page?
Yeah, look, it is tough. Like I never realized how tough it was to write a series, and like I hats off to people who can do it. It is it's more about I have to do the storyline. So the storyline is how I need to write it. So I don't have character names. I don't have, you know, what their names mean, anything like that. And then all of a sudden I go, okay, this is the storyline, how I want this character to develop. This is how I want them to end. And then I go from a sequence of there. So originally, I actually had my first book and my second book pretty much down pat. I knew how I wanted to do it. Now it's my third, fourth, and fifth, which I'm struggling with the most. Oh my God, time's up. But yeah, that's pretty much how I go. And then now I know how it ends. So now I've just got to get to that point of the whole story. So yeah.
Well, Mandy, thank you so much. You made it through our 5-minute round. So this piece will go on our social channels, and then the entire episode will be on YouTube and Spotify. So we'll just keep chatting. Sorry that I derailed our 5 minutes with our Buffy talk. Um, so
Fun
typically,
fact, Kanye's
It's
dog is named Buffy. So
yes,
Yeah,
I'm
look, if
literally
it's about
obsessed.
Buffy, it has to be derailed. I'm sorry. That's just how
I
it
am
works.
so obsessed. I rewatch it at least one time a year, like start to
Yeah, me
finish.
too.
Um, it's my
Can't believe
favorite.
you know
I
the
personally
episodes. Hats off to you, babe, because I was like, I don't know the episode name, but I can what I find it every time. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just as big of a fan of Charlene Harris and the Sookie Stackhouse
Sookie
novels.
Stackhouse
So
series. It was funny because Sookie Stackhouse is my first spicy sort of series that I wrote, that I read. And like I've always been into Anne Rice and all that sort of stuff as well. So I knew sort of the genre, but Sookie Stackhouse is spicy, and that was like my first.
I didn't know
Um,
it was spicy until I read it. I'd watched True Blood, but I thought it was like the
yeah,
HBO twist. Like
that's
it
right.
wasn't.
Yeah, because you think, oh, they've adapted it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah,
So I don't know.
it's
You
pretty
can't see it because
spicy.
it's blurred, but all of these books right here are my Sookie books. So I have.
Oh no.
So, okay, I admittedly have never read the Sookie Stackhouse series. Is it as spicy as the books? Or as the series on TV? I thought
Yeah,
they
but the
changed
storyline's
quite a
very
bit.
different. So
Okay.
obviously the first series of True Blood is very much very similar to what pretty much the book is. It's hands down the same. I think it probably maybe book two is very similar. It was after Eric changes when he loses his memory, pretty much, whatever season, I think it's season three actually. Those books are pretty much exactly the same. Then after that, no, it's a totally different book. I don't even think I was watching, I actually didn't watch the end of True Blood because I was like, oh, this is nothing like the books at all. Like, what is this? So,
Wait, you guys
yeah,
don't know how
it's
the show ended?
I know how it ends, but I
I
didn't
know
watch it.
how it ended, but it's nothing to do with the books. It is
Wow.
completely that whatever they did in the book about the virus and all that, that's not really in the books at all.
Mm. So what I'm
And a
hearing
lot
is
of
I
what
need
happens
to
with the
read the
king
books.
and the queen, that's not in the book. So it's very different.
Yeah.
Probably after when Eric loses his memory, that's when it all changed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like parallel, and then suddenly there's a huge
Yeah,
shift, and
it's a
it's
total
yeah,
shift, and you go, "Oh, what's this?" It's like a anyway, but that's because I love those books. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm just watching a new show. I'm not watching Sookie Stackhouse anymore." Yeah.
right.
Ah. So what I'm
So
hearing is I need to read that. So I'll
You
add
do
that to
you do
my
need to read the
never-ending
books. The
TBR.
books are amazing, like hands down amazing. And even Eric is a perfect redemption baddie. Like he is just so good in the books. Like he does a lot more like evil stuff to her. Like there's a lot that happens, and
Yeah.
in the when he gets his memory back, he's still still an a-hole. But then you still love him, and you're like, oh God, okay, okay. You just keep going
which
with it. Yeah.
that brings me back to this other Easter egg that you're talking about with your redemption arc. So I'm super
Mm.
excited about this and about reading your novels because it sounds like, I mean, we share a lot of interest here, so it's got to be good, right? So you guys have got to
I
read
hope
these.
so.
Yes, you have to read these books.
Of
You do
course,
have to read my
yes.
books. Yes, big plug for myself. Because yeah, and look, I'm into humor as well. Like, you can tell by my personality. So I'm like, yeah, I 100% need humor in it. You need but if you look at all the characters, all my characters are so different and my books are so different. So when I originally wrote number one, it's a very slow burn, like it's a build up. She's learning about what shifters are. She never knew anything about this life. She's been sheltered away, and so she's all learning about what this is. So she's kind of the premise of how it gets set up and then how the story then evolves. So her book is about you also learning about the shifters. So what she knows, but and it's a very different shifter romance. So it's not going down what you would know about the Omegaverse and knotting and all that. It's nothing like that. It's a very different take on it. So she is then explaining to you what this version of this sort of shifter romance is. And then Harper, her best mate, this is very fast paced. So my second book is full on fast paced. Like if you want pretty much it to go, 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 go and everything, spice, all that, it is pretty much what number 2 is. Number 3 is a slow burn, so there is a build up. But he knew that, and this is how this all starts, is he knew Nora was his fated mate. So he's actually gone to London he's the Prince of the Wolves. So he's had to go home and do his duty. And he's gone absolutely obsessed, like crazy about her. He keeps thinking about her, things happen. She goes a bit nuts, also that's why she follows him and she goes there. So he's more of the obsessive type. So his dirty thoughts is what I love in number 3 because
Sign me
it's
up for
very
that one.
descriptive. It's very descriptive and but she's also really sassy and you can't control her. So he's just like, "No, you need to follow what I'm doing." She goes, "No, thanks." And she does her own thing. So she is my sass. Nora was really hard to write, even though I am naturally sassy, my husband tells me. She is probably my hardest to write because she's sassy through the whole thing. Like he was like, he's like, "Do this for me." No, that's what she's like. No, not doing it. Sorry,
We
you got
love
to
a
do what I
sassy
say.
baddie. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. And but so the baddie and all of it is it's the same sort of story. You sort of hear about the backstory of why this person's a baddie and all that. And then and like his name is Drake. So if you want to know, so his name is Drake and he has sort of a story. And then in number 3, you find out that he's not as evil as what you thought. Because his father, who started all this and has gone down the baddie side, who is followed, everyone thought that he was just going down the same path as him, but he's actually not. And that's where number 3. But number 4 now is Oliver's sister Bonnie and her 2 bodyguards who came from Woodville Springs. So then my next book that I'm writing is an MMF. So with the 2 twin guys and Bonnie and so then it starts on her journey. And then it will end with, if you've read my first book, it actually ends with Spencer, who is the flirtiest of the whole Woodville Springs pack. It actually ends with his story and Ren, which you'll find out in this book. Anyway, there's so much to say. When you do a series, it is so hard to explain what happens because there's so many things that go on each of the books. But all I
Yeah.
can tell you is if you love shifter romance, like I've loved shifter romance for so long, and like I've done ghostwriting for people and copywriting and all that, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna write my own. So this is my version of how I would want a shifter romance to be.
Well, you've got us sold. We're gonna go pick it up and read it as quickly as possible. Like I said, I'm a big Buffy fan. Rachel's a huge Sookie
100%.
Stackhouse fan. We both love romantasy and fantasy, so like we're there. We're there. We've got you, Mandy.
Oh, good, thank you.
So right about now is when we typically open up to the author and let them talk about like anything they want to address with their readers, any announcements they have. So the floor is yours if you have anything you'd like to say.
Well, yes. So I have a new book that's coming out at the end of the year, which is my MMF, and then that is the 4th book, and then next year I will finish off the series. So I will have my arcs open. So please like my Instagram page, and you are more than welcome to join my arc and get a free copy of my 4th book. I keep saying 3rd, but it's actually 4. I keep like it's just when you write so many, you're like, oh, that's my next. So my 4th book, and I would love to get everyone's opinion of it. And obviously, like I'm very much into honest opinions. So and that's what I love about this industry.
Well, I will also do a like selfishly plug myself here. I I own Iris Influencer Society. I co-own it, and we do a lot of help with indie authors, with ARC teams and stuff. So if you need any help, let us know. We'd be happy to take you on.
Amazing.
Yep. All right. Well, Mandi, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we have you on again here soon.
Yes, I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good day.
See you. Bye.
Bye.